Hey there, gang. Today we're going to be talking about catalyst. It's time for my new catalyst list. This is not a great time for catalysts because there's risk-off environment in general. However, they still matter. And so I think it's important for me to put them out there. Also, some of these catalysts will be taking place at a time when the risk will be back on, I think. We'll see what happens with regard to the macro this year. This is Randy Kirk. If this content is useful, helpful in making decisions, in just enjoying your ride with Elon Musk and Tesla, then please like and subscribe and do all that good stuff. And of course, I'm looking for more people to join my Patreon group that is going to help me put together my new news effort, my new news website. If you don't know about that, look at my previous YouTube video last afternoon. Sunday afternoon, and you can see more about it at that time. All right, let's go on here, get right into it here. So the number one catalyst, now these are not in order. So these are just a stream of consciousness. So please forgive me. They are in no particular order. So number one will be the groundbreaking at Mexico. And we are promised that there will be an announcement as to what will be made at the Mexico Gigafactory when the groundbreaking takes place. So this will be an event. Not sure it'll be as big of an event as like Investor Day, but some kind of an event which will include the announcement of what's going to be made there. Now, we've been told that the Gen 3 car will be made there, but if the groundbreaking is coming in May, the goal is to build the factory in 9 months, then there will start production of something at that point. So that would be, let's call it May of next year. Then somewhere around May of next year, they will be producing something. Now, what will that be? Could it be parts? Could it be, could they be starting another line of 4680s? Could it be battery storage units? I mean, there's so many things that they could make right out the gate once they open that facility. It's going to be massive. Could it be Cybertrucks? I mean, I just don't know. Don't have a guess, but the question becomes, why wouldn't they start making Gen 3 vehicles there? The other side of that coin is that we were told that Gen 3 vehicles are 2 years away. So that's 1 year away, and we're told those are 2 years away. So why is there this gap between the opening of the Gigafactory in Mexico, where we know Gen 3 will be made? Why will it take another year from that point in order to start seeing Gen 3 vehicles? Now, maybe a lot of reasons. Engineering that still has to be developed, not the right timing in terms of the introduction of the product in the product cycle. There's a lot of things that could be going on there. Now, what else they're going to make there? Don't know. So good guess. Hey, put your guesses in the comments below. Please, comments. I love your comments. Okay, number two. So that's May of this year for the groundbreaking. That's what we're told anyway, 3 months. There will be an energy surprise at the Q1 earnings call. So that's coming in April 20 something, whatever day it will be this particular quarter. The energy surprise will be that there will be a lot more energy profit and a lot more energy deployment. And people will start to be able to put it together. Hopefully there'll be questions at the earnings call with regard to the profitability of the mega packs. My guess, as we've been talking about forever, is that profit is really in the range of 40 to 50%. Will that be recognized? Will that be talked about? Will it be put out there? If it is, that should be a catalyst, of course. Okay, the next one on my list is that there will be an Optimus video showing various bots in use in the factory by May. Now, this will be huge. But they did promise us last year at AI Day that there will be updates with regard to AI and Optimus throughout the year. They talked about even having, like once a month updates. My guess is that Optimus is already being used in factory at this point. I was just watching, there's a new video out where they're showing the Shanghai factory and they're showing different positions. And I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but locations throughout the factory. It looked to me like it would be a no-brainer to be able to use Optimus for inspections at the end of the line. They must have had 50 people working in that last couple of hundred yards opening doors and closing doors, opening hoods and closing hoods, gapping, putting a gap meter into various places to see if the gaps were good, and visually inspecting for paint. Seems like an easy job for an Optimus to do. So by May, I'm expecting that we will see a video showing Optimus in use, and I think that will be a big catalyst, regardless of the macro at that point. I think that this is the kind of sexy thing that people will begin to able to wrap their heads around and start to be able to model for what this might turn out to look like. All right, the next one. The Cybertruck first article will be coming out sometime in summer, they said. So when will that first article come out? I'm going to say July. And then they'll, as usual, they'll probably have 10, 20, 30 of them that will be handed over to employees to go start using on a daily basis. And so if those Cybertrucks are being handed out at that point, then that means they have production off the line. And that should be a catalyst, because clearly, once there is a mass production, full ramp, or even a partial ramp of these Cybertrucks, this is the sexiest thing that Tesla is working on right now. So I think we can look forward to some kind of a bump in the stock once those start rolling off the line. Now, similarly, sometime after that, I'm going to say a month after that, there will probably be somebody doing a review, some major magazine. It might be that somebody gets one to Sandy, Monroe, and they don't do a teardown necessarily, but they just drive it and review it. What would be great is if the person that reviews it is somebody that's a rancher or a cowboy, somebody that's from Texas and has that good old boy attitude, and they drive it and use it and show it and demonstrate it and go, man, this is like better than anything else out there. So that could happen. And if that happens, obviously, that could be a huge catalyst in any market. Consider it, no matter what the market is doing at that time. All right. The next one is that there will be the FSD 11. It's got to come out sometime. So we've been promised FSD 11 since before Christmas. I want to say maybe a month before Christmas. I don't remember exactly, but we're months and months and months into the promise for FSD 11 to be released into the wild, and it hasn't been released yet. So they are clearly running into issues getting these two stacks to work together, or getting some aspects of it to work. I think they're not interested in two steps back, which commonly happens when these major new FSD things come out. So when will FSD 11 come out? I'm saying it'll come out no later than May. So I'm really hedging my idea here. Hey, it could come out next week. But then once it comes out, then we're going to have the reporting. What will move the market is if Chuck Cook and others who are respected for their analysis, if they say, oh no, this is a step change, or this is a done deal, or they start to show it working in these odd situations. Now, let me remind you, I have a couple of odd situations that I think are the hardest. I think parking the thing by itself in a shopping center parking lot is among the hardest things that it can do. You got people walking around and kids walking around and all kinds of cars backing in and backing out and doing all this stuff. And it's got to locate the parking place. It's got to realize that maybe somebody's pulling out and has to wait and park. I mean, this is a very complicated endeavor. If they start parking the car in that kind of a parking lot, I'll be impressed. Even if they drive into the parking lot and let somebody off at the front door and then continue out of the parking lot successfully over and over again, that would be pretty impressive. The other one for me would be to go into a downtown situation where you've got pedestrians going all different directions at intersections. And you know that these pedestrians, they don't wait for the light to change. They don't, they continue to cross even when the red light starts blinking. And so you can end up sitting there trying to make a right turn into one of these streets where there's absolutely no time when you're not going to hit a pedestrian unless you just muscle your way in. I would like to see how Tesla handles that. That's a couple. Maybe you've got another one. Throw them out there in the comments. Do you have another edge case, difficult case that you'd like to see the version 11 handle before you're confident that this is really a solution. You know, another one, some of these weird bike lanes where they just have these sticks in the ground, so to speak, showing the brake in the bike lane. Some of those bike lanes seem to really throw the previous version 10 off. So I'd like to see a few of those where it's working really well. That has actually been something we've seen driving our own car, that it has a difficulty with that. Okay. If version 11 is really successful, I think there'll be version 11, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe there'll be version 12. I'm going to say that FSD goes off beta in the fourth quarter, and that will definitely be a catalyst. If Tesla is willing to say that it's no longer a beta, that will be a catalyst. And I'm saying that happens before the end of the year. I'm calling it fourth quarter. Next will be a mega factory announcement. I'm calling mega factories that make the mega pack. They said at Investor Day last week that they will start cookie cuttering mega pack factories. Every mega pack factory is the equivalent of half of a Berlin or half of an Austin in terms of gross volume sales, and more than half in terms of profit, in my opinion. So this, every time they break ground on one of those or talk about starting up another one of those factories, that is, to me, something that will start to become a catalyst. Okay, next, another Gigafactory announcement. And I'm going to say that comes by June. And this will be Indonesia. That's my personal opinion. It could be Canada, it could be Japan, it could be South Korea, it could be a lot of places. I think Indonesia has got the lead on this particular factory, and that's where I think it's going to go. All right, so that will be I think that'll move the market because by that time they will have digested the Mexico thing. The other factories will all be ramping, according to Elon. All of them will be increasing their size and their productive capability. And so now this will be on top of. So I think that will make that into a catalyst. The next one will be some kind of clear evidence that we're looking at 2+ million cars sold in 2023. I think that'll come by July, by the second quarter earnings report. There will be enough cars in the second quarter and enough cars already being evidenced in the beginning of the third quarter that we'll see that it's going to be over 2 million. I'm still holding out for 2.25 to 2.3 million. Maybe that's just a bridge too far, but that's always been my number. We'll see. Maybe it's only going to be 2 million. 2 million would be fine. It would be within the range of what the promise has been all along of 50% per year, starting with 2020. All right, next would be, let's see, the refresh Model 3 reveal and price. And I'm saying that'll be later this month because they're supposed to, I think in Shanghai and in Fremont, they're switching over those lines. And we should be getting pretty close to seeing what this new model is going to look like. Is it in fact going to be called the Highland? Is it just a refresh and it looks a little different and has a few things? Or is it something major and something major that we talked about? The more major the refresh, the more fun things there are to talk about, the more likely it turns into some kind of a catalyst that will move the stock market. All right, I'm saying March. 4680 line fully ramped in Austin. I'm saying fourth quarter. I'm hoping it's way sooner, but my guess is, based on what we learned last week, is they're not in any hurry at all. They got enough batteries. They're not worried about batteries, and they want to get this first line done right. So I'm saying it's going to be maybe fourth quarter before the first line is fully ramped and producing a full 25 gigawatts per year run rate. And somewhere along the line, as they get close to that, line 2, line 3 might start ramping, maybe even line 4. Before the end of the year, they might have all of them in some phase of being ramped. And then sometime early in 2024, we should see the full 100 gigawatts fully ramped and producing in maybe by the end of the second quarter. Depends on how fast it is to, again, cookie cutter what they've learned on this first line. All right. So next will be the macro. I'm saying that this is not specific to Tesla. I'm saying that the macro will start, the inflation will start to cool, obviously, and the Fed will start to believe it by August. So there's enough stuff happening in the macro right now in terms of even lithium coming down by 40%, just dropping like a rock. I think we'll see, we know that transportation is dropping. We know that container prices have dropped. We know that used car prices have dropped. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Now they're talking about rents, and housing has dropped a little bit. So we're really just waiting for food. So I'm saying by August, we will see that the inflation starts to cool. And that means, of course, that the bond yields will start to drop again. And that will be a big catalyst for the overall market. And Tesla will respond as usual, ×2, ×3, even ×4 to what the market does to that catalyst. Next will be the Optimus reveal and orders open. Now, if I'm right on this one, I think they should build a plaque. I need a plaque down at Austin if they do a model, an Optimus reveal in the fourth quarter, or even the first quarter of next year. I'm saying fourth quarter this year, they're going to have an Optimus day, or maybe it's a Dojo day. That's actually a separate line on my list here, but a Dojo day, an AI day, an Optimus day, whatever it is, and they are going to put up the order form. They're going to allow you to start placing your order. Well, it may not be you, because I continue to believe that the first orders will require an application, and you have to prove that you have a valuable use case that Tesla can learn from as they build out, let's say, the first 1 million units in 2024. Yes, you heard me right. I think they'll build at least 1 million units in 2024. Okay, next would be an HVAC reveal. I want the HVAC reveal. But I do think it'll be next year. And it might come in coordination with a Tesla home reveal. So I mentioned this the other day. I won't go into detail about it again. But at this point, you've got the whole house. You've got so many different aspects of the house that can be Teslaized. So I think they'll start to build. Well, they're already building some homes. I think that there will be a major effort to start incorporating Tesla, the Tesla ecosystem, into homes, whether that's with existing builders, whether that's Tesla doing it themselves, along with some other high-tech stuff like 3D and whatnot. So not just tiny houses, but full-on homes. They could be modular, they could be manufactured homes, they could be 3D, or they could be traditionally built. But in any case, they will be Teslaized. So that's my thinking, is that the HVAC reveal or the Tesla home reveal could be first quarter of 2024. The Mega Pack backlog goes to 3 years by September. Right now, it's still 2 years. I'm saying that by virtue of the fact that it's now available, and these institutional buyers and the utility buyers and the people that are putting in the large deployments of wind and solar, and also for the semi trucks and whatnot, I'm saying the list of folks waiting for that is going to keep growing and growing and growing, and it will now go to a 3-year backlog. Now that 3-year backlog could get cut again, as maybe by April, May of next year, we've got another Mega Pack factory or two. And so that could start to help to modulate that problem. Okay, next would be that in March of 2024, Giga Mexico, Giga Reno, the new Mega, Corpus Christi, Giga Shanghai, and maybe Giga Austin will all be producing new stuff. Now, it sounds crazy, but it's kind of like everything is kind of coming together in that same little 1 or 2 month period, where if they're going to expand Giga Shanghai, it should be expanded by then. If they're going to start breaking ground on the next Austin phase and the next Berlin phase by next March, April, May, we should start seeing that. If they're going to start another mega factory, they've probably already decided where it's going to be. They just haven't told us yet. And by next year, this time, by March, it should be making product. Giga Mexico, of course, is supposed to be, 9 months from May. So maybe it's March, maybe it's April. They're building something. They're done. They're making some stuff. So a huge situation somewhere March, April, May of next year, all of this stuff is going to start cranking out, and that all of that should be catalytic to the stock. Then, as I mentioned, a Dojo Day. I won't go over that again, but Dojo is a service, other kinds of AI. Who knows what might be coming with that? And then I think that by the end of the year, as promised, Elon will announce a new Twitter CEO. That will be a catalyst for the stock. So I'm calling that November. And then I've talked about this for a long time, but it hasn't happened last year. So I need to put it in my catalyst list again. Actually, both of these last two. One is that California will finally approve using the safety score for insurance in California. Now, as a Californian who owns a Tesla, I'm waiting for this to happen because it's going to lower my insurance. And so I'd be very excited to see that take place. I'm saying it'll happen by the fourth quarter of this year. That gives me a lot of latitude. And then the other one is that one state or one country will allow Tesla to operate as a robotaxi by first quarter of 2024. So that's my list of catalysts. Looking for you to shoot me down. I'm looking for you to say, absolutely, Randy, those sound perfect. I'm looking for you to add to the list of what you believe will be major catalysts for next year. And then, that's pretty much it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and notify. And, buy the book. Have you bought a book yet? Have you bought a copy of the Elon Musk mission yet? Well, you should do that. My sales are dipping down just a little bit. We need a little stimulus. So this is a good time to buy one for yourself, buy one for a friend, buy one for a family member, buy one for somebody that doesn't get it, because it's all in there and it's all factual. It's been fact checked by 50 individual readers. So get a copy of the book. All right. Hey, it's been great talking to you.